In the beginning. That's a very interesting statement considering that we all have a beginning. No matter who you are, you have a starting line, a place where it, whatever it is, began. Some place where we can recall in our minds that for us is the beginning of our life. Now, in most cases, it's not in the womb, and it's probably not within the first couple of years, but we have this beginning storyline. And what this storyline tells us about ourselves is vitally important. You see, this starting line many times dictates who we are or who we think we deserve to be or become in this life, in our future. When I think about this concept of a starting line, I think about racers, and it might be a marathon racer or a sprint racer. Almost any type of racer will work for this analogy. Any type of person who comes to a starting line and gets ready in their starting position. A person who then holds that position until they hear the gunshot, bell, or whistle to begin the race. Their heart pounding, filled with anticipation, filled with the thought of running the race, running a good race. And then once they hear their cue, they run the race as fast and as passionately as possible. Why? Because they believe they were born to race, and they believe they deserve and belong to be in the race. They also understand that the race is a journey, and many things can happen in the amount of time it takes to get to their finish line. Now, do you believe you deserve to be in the race? Do you believe you were born to be in the race you are in? And are you running the race, or are you stuck in your starting blocks? Are you paralyzed by your beginning? Is your belief of who you are or who you can become keeping you on the sidelines of life? If so, stop it. No, seriously, pause, reflect, and readjust your thinking of your beginnings. You should know that your starting position has nothing to do with if you're going to win or lose this race of life. It has nothing to do with if there's going to be an injury along the way. It has nothing to do with the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows of the race that is life itself. It has nothing to do with the race that's about to ensue for you. It simply is or was your starting position. Imagine thinking to yourself, because I lined up that way, because I set up that way, because I started this certain way in the starting blocks of life, that there is no way that I or you can win the race. Simply put, this is not true. And to be honest, it's crazy to allow ourselves to think of this life race in that way. You see, the racer knows to clear their mind, to remove every obstacle out of the way. They realize it's every step, it's every stride, it's every movement of every muscle that will get them to, and you, to the end of that race, to the finish line, to the winner's circle. So start running, run hard, run fast, run with focus, and realize it's every thought that you have for every step you take. It's how you push harder, push further, push faster that will get you to your victorious finish line. It's the combination, the synchronicity of the body and the mind realizing that the beginning was just that, the beginning. But every step, every stride you take to fulfill this journey that you are on gets you to that finish line, to your goal. You see, we put so much weight on where we start because we can't see it, the finish line. And it's easy to do because we've been there. But most times what we don't put the weight on is the future because we can't see it. It's unseen, therefore we're not sure of what it will be. However, we can know what it's going to be by what we do every day, every step of the race, by every moment of the journey, and by our actions. But let's stop for a second. I know what might be going on in your brain right now. You might be thinking, this sounds great, but how do I clear my mind? How do I wipe out the destruction that my starting line is doing to me mentally? And might I suggest you get started with this simple action. Get the book, Get Out of Your Own Way. The link is in the description below, along with other great resources to help you reposition your starting line as an amazing moment in time that got you going, but no longer will hold you back. After reading or listening to the book, this is what you can do next. Stop and think about why you put so much power on something that is truly so insignificant. I think about my own life when I'm talking about these beginnings or starting lines. You see, I started in a one-room log cabin in Lincoln, Montana. I started with a family that was divorced and separated before that became the cultural norm. And I started in a small rural town where I rode my pony to school and back home again. You see, these are all things that are not normal. And if I'm being completely honest, these might be things that maybe would be looked at as limiting, things that would be looked at as small. And in my mind, makes me wonder, should I live a small life? And to be frank with you, I did believe that very thing for a long time, that I should live a small life because I came from a small starting line. When I think about beginnings, I think of multiple beginnings. The beginning of being a high school dropout, when in ninth grade a teacher told me that I would never amount to anything, and because that stride got broken, and because that mind was forced out of sync, I believed it, and therefore my race wasn't being run for many years. Could I be more victorious today if that had never happened? Could my finish line be dramatically different? Yes, because I could have run the race differently. But here's the thing. It's not the beginning, it's the end, and it's the journey in between that matters. It's the ability, your ability, to keep pushing on, to keep running that race, to understand it doesn't matter where you started, it doesn't matter where you are right now, it matters where you end. So stop, list out all the things that you historically have looked at as negative starting lines, and then look at them as positives. Understand they have made you who you are. They were the building blocks, steps, strides for who you are now and the foundation of who you can become in the future. It only matters how much you speed up, how much you push, how much you do every day to get where you believe the universe, God, you want yourself to be when this is all over. I want you to know, so I have to say it again, it doesn't matter where you started, it doesn't matter where you are right now. It matters what you do each and every day, making sure you keep that stride and that mindset in sync. You need to be the master of your destiny. You need to understand the weight, the power of your belief, and the faith you have of your own future. As I think about the future and it being unseen, it's the understanding that there is a power in self-belief that keeps refilling your tanks. What do you believe in? What is your rock, your anchor? What keeps you grounded? Really, stop for 10 to 15 minutes today and answer those questions for yourself. Once you have the answers or the starting of the answers, then believe in yourself. Believe in your journey. Believe in the fact that you can and will make the right decisions. Believe that there is no such thing as failure, but there are only lessons learned along this race of life. And speaking of, when I think of fear, especially in our journey, it's false evidence appearing real. Think about it. False evidence appearing real, meaning we cannot see the future, we cannot see what's going to happen. Therefore, why do we make it stop us from doing the things that we should be doing or could be doing? Are you letting false evidence dictate your decisions? I challenge you to remove fear from your vocabulary. When you think about the starting lines of your life, don't give them a lot of power. However, when you think about the end, the finish line, give it the desire, the power, the passion that it needs. Make every single day, every minute, every stride, that mental push, that synchronicity that you need in life, the best that it can be. And again, today and every day moving forward, I challenge you to think about the starting, and instead of positioning it in a negative light, and instead of positioning it in a limited view, I want you to think about what the starting is. It's simply the starting. It's what makes you special. It's the best part of you because it's the beginning. Think about your micro moments in life. Think about the additional beginnings, the chaotic points, the successful points, the points that you can recall in your memory and tell crazy, amazing stories about those starts. Because instead of having one beginning, if you can collect the multiple beginnings in your life and position them for a positive mentality, a victor mentality, this is going to give you the oxygen you need to run that race. It's going to give you the food, the water to your soul, to your mind, for you to run that race. Stay positive. Give the future its ample due. Think about every step, every stride, every muscle, every thought, so that you can run the race that will get you to the end and to the future that has built a life beyond your default. Get the book, Get Out of Your Own Way. Watch and read some of the additional resources below. Hit the like and subscribe, or share with a friend who needs to hear this. And remember, as you run this race of life, remember to be a happy, helpful, humble human, and I'll see you in the next video.